Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Susan and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do some rum logs. We're getting ready to do a Christmas open house we do every year for our church and neighbors. And one of the things we serve are rum logs. Now they're known by several different names. We call them rum logs. I've been making this same recipe since probably 1966. Oh, please! I hope that doesn't give away my age. But anyway, we're gonna do it regardless I'm young or old.
You were 3 years old.
I was 3 years old in 1966. Right? Oh yeah. Now I'm doubling this recipe, but I will have the single batch recipe in the description below. I've got a cup, actually 2 cups of butter here. Like I said, I'm doubling this recipe. So we're going to put this in the mixer and we're going to start mixing that up. In the meantime, I've got 6 cups of flour. And to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Now this is freshly ground nutmeg. I prefer freshly ground. If you don't have freshly ground, by all means just use the store-bought. And I'm going to hopefully get this sifted. So I've got 6 cups of flour and 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. We're going to get this all sifted together. Looks good. I don't know what kind of sifter you have. I've tried them all and there's still none that I really prefer over one another. Okay, so we got that done. Now I've got 2 eggs. I'm going to break these in a bowl without getting them all over my fingers. Toss them in the sink there. We don't hold on any formality here. Okay, and so that's 2 eggs. Rinse my hands off here since I got egg all over. Now, I've got 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. I'm going to add to the butter. There again, I'm doubling this. I'm going to kind of get this going. Now you want this, you can see it, to be light and fluffy. Okay? Now, it says, we're going to add flavorings. Rum logs. You can't have rum logs without rum and vanilla. Now I'm doubling this and it calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla per batch. So I'm going to do 4 teaspoons of vanilla, which is 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. So let's see if we can get that in there. I got 1 tablespoon, and here's 1 teaspoon. So we've got our vanilla flavorings in there. That's a little more. It won't hurt if it's a little more. Now we're going to do some rum flavorings. We're going to do the same thing. Now, I know this says absolute vodka. It's not vodka. It was at one point. But since I put vanilla beans in there and put it in the closet for 6 months, it's now vanilla. Now I've got rum flavorings. We're going to do the same thing with rum flavorings. Calls for 2 teaspoons per batch. That's 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon is what I need. Okay? Put this aside. We're getting going here. Let's stop this right now and let's kind of move it down before we add anything else to it. Put that bowl in the way, but we want to kind of scoop this down off the sides. I'm sure you probably have your favorite Christmas cookie recipes. This happens to be one of our family's favorites. It came from my Aunt Joan years ago. In fact, our older son just called from California because he wanted the recipe, and he made them himself. Sent me a picture. They look marvelous, just marvelous. Okay, now I'm going to add the 2 eggs. Just going to put them in there and beat them. Looks good, looks good. Okay. Now, we're going to add all this dry stuff. And hopefully we don't do it all over the kitchen. But you never know. I'm going to get a big spoon here. I'm going to start, I hope that's on the stir. It does say stir. Yep, that's stir. Okay. Now we're going to start adding our dry ingredients. We're going to add a little at a time. Oh, there it goes. Gosh, I thought we'd get away without it going all over the kitchen. Look at that. We have a dusting of flour instead of a dusting of snow. Oh well, we'll clean it up here in a minute. I do have a clean counter because we're going to use this counter to, I don't think my mixer is quite right. Seems to be putting out a lot of flour.
Isn't there a cover?
Is there what?
A cover?
What?
A cover that you...
Oh yeah. You think I'd use that?
No.
No.
I
Heaven only knows. It's down in the cabinet. Why would I use that?
no reason for that.
No. It's more fun to clean it up off the counter. It's down in the cabinet there where the rest of the attachments are. I should have thought of that, Will. But you weren't here.
Yeah.
So we're almost there. I still think that this mixer is too fast on the stir speed. I've always thought that. But there's never really anywhere to be calibrated. Okay, well, it's coming together nicely, regardless of how much flour's got in there. You know, we all have things happen in the kitchen. We just laugh them off. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to cry over it? I don't think so. If you haven't made any mistakes in the kitchen, you're not in the kitchen enough, I can tell you that. Because I've made some doozies. I'm going to turn that off a minute. I'm going to see about scraping some of this off into the, not that it's necessary. Well, let's just not do that. Sorry. Okay. Now we're going to get this going just a little more. I want to scrape down the sides just a little more because this top flour has not been incorporated. So let's get that done there. You know, I don't know what your traditions are for the holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, or whether you just have a good meal, which is always fun too. Not everybody celebrates Christmas. I understand that. Okay. All right, now I am going to get this out of here. Clean hands are your best tool in the kitchen. That's quoting Ina Garten. And who would know more about cooking and baking than Ina Garten? So we're going to get this off the beater. See if I can get it off here. I never know which way I'm going. There we go. So we're going to scrape it down in there. And then we're going to put it in little batches on the counter. We're going to roll it into, what are we having? Rum logs. We're going to roll it into a log. And then we're going to bake it. And then we're going to ice it. Okay, so let me get rid of this. Now, I'm going to get, there we go. I'm going to make sure we get this down here. And I want to make sure that the flour in the bottom has been incorporated. Because we don't want to get down there and find out that we've got a cup and a half of flour in there. Looks good. Okay. So like I said, I've got a clean counter here. And I've got a cookie sheet. Of course, I always line mine with parchment paper. I ordered this from Amazon. It's cut to fit your cookie sheet so that you don't have to tear a big long thing and waste a lot of parchment paper. So I'm going to take a big glob of this. And we're going to smush it together. That's a baking term, smush. Okay. It's a nice soft dough. So we're going to start rolling it. Roll, roll, roll. See, I think I'm going to just use that right here. Now I want it into kind of, I don't know, ½ inch. Let's take a look here. Your dough's going to look like it's breaking, and it probably will because that's the nature of this dough. Roll it out. I think I'll just work with this little piece. Roll it, roll it, roll it. Now you can make these logs as thick as you want or as thin as you want. But that one looks pretty good. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a knife. And this is probably 6-inch roll. And I'm going to cut it in thirds. I'm going to lay it on a parchment paper. And then I'm going to do the next one. Take this other piece. I'm going to do this until I fill all the trays. I have my oven preheated at 350. So we've got that going for us. Get this one rolled out, and I'm going to fill all the trays with this before we bake it. So there, you see what I'm doing. This one's not quite at 6 inches, but we're going to cut it in half. Some of these are going to be longer than others. And you know, if you look at logs, logs aren't always the same length either. I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll all these out, and it's going to take me a while. So we're going to be back as soon as we get these ready, and we'll put them in the oven for you. Alright, here we go. Hope you can see these. These are all iced, and we took a fork down through the icing so it looks similar to a log, and then we grated fresh nutmeg all over it like I showed you before. Now I'm going to have to let the icing set up for a few minutes before I can freeze it, but these do freeze well. Just put wax paper or parchment paper or something in between the layers They do freeze well. The icing, like I said, you can freeze that and use it at a later date if you want. I will tell you that thanks for all you subscribers. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to enjoy yourself in the kitchen. Until next time, blessings to you and your family.